Felix pulls out a little device and starts to scan your knee area just to make sure it's okay. And he says, yeah, it looks like you might have bruised it, but it should be fine in a few days with some rest. Keep your weight off of it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I'll be in ship shape. Thank you. And I'm like patting the ice pack, Phoenix branded.
He sets some other medical supplies, emergency medical stuff on the couch next to you. I don't know what you need, but I feel like you can get this for yourself. I feel like you got this.
I thought you were gonna say he just dumps all the bags of chips and cookies like on me. Like he's like, here you go.
All the calories.
No, he put all that on the table, but he does put a couple of things that are more easily within reach of Glider, so she doesn't have to move around so much to get food. There's also lots of drinks and other things, so plenty for everyone. And as Felix sits down, he says, I said I would explain, but I don't know where to start because I don't know what you know.
Yes, I pushed the box of pizza in his direction. You eat too.
Yeah.
He takes a slice and starts eating it and leans back and waits for you all to begin. He's also brought plates and napkins and stuff, of course.
I guess first thing, you were going to explain about Doppelganger and why they needed you to get them out of there.
I don't know much about whatever specific situation he was coming in to report on, but last that I recall, he was helping us keep an eye on a particular anti-super group. This group was particularly dangerous and a threat to people both super and non-super, but they haven't been active in a pretty long time. And I guess for the full story, what all do you know about the formation of Aegis?
What do we know, GM?
Yeah, I was going to say that's a great question for the... I feel like Marcus would know a little bit.
Marcus would know. I would definitely know, like, the public story.
Yeah.
Like, the founding of the Aegis company for in Queen City. So, like, I know the public story.
I'll have you roll superior to see what your characters know.
Oh, yeah, we can roll.
Yeah. I did roll a 7.
I rolled a 9.
I got a 9, too. So we know the same thing.
Swap these dice.
So, what you know about Aegis is it started here, and it started around your parents' time, when they were your age. And it was meant to be a sort of oversight for the superhero world, but it also had educational programs and support programs. It was a pretty well-rounded response to the answer of, what do we do about the fact people have superpowers? You can't exactly put villains in a normal jail.
Yeah.
It was experimental at first, worked on and developed between a group of supers and non-supers, and it did well, and after it was proved that something like that could work, it began to spread across the country and then across the world.
Okay. What does Aegis have to do with this?
So around the time the proposal was being put together for Aegis, other ideas were being put forth for how to manage the existence of superheroes. Some of the ideas were a lot more controlling and restrictive, effectively treating us as objects or attempting to exploit us for labor. The idea for what would become Aegis was originally introduced by Vance McCann as a more balanced approach to solving the problem. There were some people out there who were proposing something that is a lot closer to treating supers like weapons, which does make sense because some of us can be dangerous, but the problem with treating a bunch of people like weapons is eventually that is how they will see themselves, and that's how we all become villains.
Mm-hmm.
There were certain groups who were pushing for that more controlling approach, some of them for their own benefit and less out of concern for anything else outside of profit, and some of those groups got a little dangerous about it. And how that relates to doppelgangers, when we met him, originally he was working for one of those groups. We tracked him down and cornered him, and one of my teammates actually interacted with him. He gave her the ultimatum of, let me go and do what you want with this place, or if you try and take me, I will blow it all up. She chose to let him go and said, if you ever want to play for a different team, you should stop by the tower. You know that the tower was an early version of the Institute, almost. It was something that Vance McCann created as he was working on the proposal for Aegis, and you know Vance, he didn't ever want to actually be the face of this. He had an idea and wanted to make it happen and used his clout to make it happen. But not long after we let Doppelganger go, he started leaving notes for my teammate warning about different attacks that were being planned, so we had time to actually stop them. And she was able to establish contacts so we could get more information, and we were able to take down quite a few operations that could have been dangerous. Then something happened. We were able to get through the first few things that could have broken really, really bad in one piece, thanks to their help and the work of the rest of my team, but one day we weren't quite so lucky. I'm not really sure what happened there, but afterwards, Doppelganger just kind of disappeared and went into retirement. I don't know what all he's been up to since then.
That part makes sense, but Doppelganger didn't know who I was. Not me, Kid Phoenix me. If they were keeping an eye on somebody, they'd still have access to, like, the outside world, right?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't even know there was still a group for him to be keeping an eye on, much less that he was continuing to watch out for them. I mean, in hindsight, that makes sense, but it could just be a case of he wasn't paying attention to the news coming from this area, because it got messy there near the end. Maybe he just didn't want to think about it. I don't know. I never fully understood his connection to the team, just that he had a strong connection to the team.
Okay.
Also, not a dig against you or anything, Marcus, but you know, you're big here and everyone knows the Phoenix, but you know, when I was coming up in the States, like, we didn't really know about Kid Phoenix too much. So
Okay. I guess it just stood out as weird.
So maybe Doppelganger was just in Europe.
Yeah. And I'm kind of torn on whether to mention that Doppelganger acted really scared of me, but I think it should be relevant to point out. I guess the other thing is, when I explained who I was, Doppelganger got scared of me. It's not because of my incredible fighting prowess, as much as I wish I could say that. Do you know anything that would unsettle Doppelganger like that?
I don't know why he would have been freaked out by that. I mean, maybe he was worried that you would have fire powers?
Okay.
I don't know, it's probably nothing. Maybe it was just a show.
Can I pierce the mask on that?
Yeah!
Yeah.
Mechanics
Yeah.
of the game! We're so good at this!
That's Snake Eyes.
Mm.
Never mind.
Never mind.
Ah, beans.
Market
We're
of
so bad at
potential. Great. I just get shifty eyes, and it's like, nah, it's the Phoenix. He doesn't. He would never ever lie to us. The Phoenix
would
wouldn't
never
lie
lie.
to anyone about anything, especially his son.
Mhm. Nope, not even a little bit. Mhm.
And superhero mechanics, they tend to lie the most to their children.
Oh yeah,
Ugh.
definitely.
Would you like to roll to pierce the mask, Madigan? See if you get anything?
Well, let's find out. That is a mundane, right? Oh no! That'd be a 12. I rolled a 5 and a 4. I can take a picture if you want to. Because I keep swapping out dice because I keep rolling really well and I want to roll some bad so I can go up, like, mark potentials. But, like, why? I just changed dice. How can I get your character to, like, trust me enough to share a little bit of information? Because I'm sure there's, like, an inkling of an idea of what he might know why he was freaked out by Marcus.
I will say, Felix isn't lying. He doesn't know. There are some possibilities, things he thinks might be the case, but he doesn't know for sure.
Yeah.
You get the feeling he doesn't really know how to talk about it. You could possibly find other ways to ask. Because either he'll find another way to explain it or his brain will finish processing whatever it's trying to process right now.
I can't remember. Was it a well-known fact that people knew that Marcus was not actually was actually not Phoenix's, like, real son? I can't remember.
I think it was mentioned that I was adopted. Like, people were aware of that.
Well, you're very obviously not his biological son.
Right. I'm pretty sure we established. Well, we established like Felix was white and that Marcus is Latino.
Yeah.
So.
But again, we don't know who the mom is.
I've been
That's true,
imagining
that's
Phoenix
true.
is very ginger. Like, he's very, very freckly and redheaded.
Right.
Yeah.
Hair is red.
It was publicized after a certain period of time when Marcus was old enough to handle the attention because he did the responsible parent thing of not putting him in the public spotlight when he was a small child.
Oh, yeah.
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 Woo!
It's one of those things that's well known and documented that Marcus is adopted. It's just a thing people know, but it's also been a while, so people don't talk about it as much.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that makes sense.
I know a question I'm going to just directly ask the Phoenix. Was the doppelganger there when you found Marcus? Does he know anything about when you got him?
Pause. Did we tell Madigan what we learned at the library? I don't know if we did.
Oh, are you talking about the Night Render Shadow Hand thing that you found?
Oh, yeah, about the Night Render. I cannot remember.
I can't
don't
remember.
think we did, because we went right from that to the prankster missing case. So you don't know.
Right.
Like, as far as you know, this was just a super normal adoption. Like, only Marcus and I know that there's possibly a hint of super villainy.
Oh, I always assumed that there was something going behind with Marcus, because, again, outside of character, Madigan has always noticed when Marcus's powers have gone wonky, but never really said anything until he wanted to bring it up. So I knew there had to be something wonky, something weird from when he was a baby, but I don't know what you guys know.
I'll also remind you that when you vibe checked Vector K way back in the beginning, you got the impression that there was something about the circumstances surrounding Felix adopting Marcus that he wasn't happy about.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I remember that
He
because
just
he kept
stare at you.
staring at him everywhere. So I'm like, why is he doing this? So I super vibe checked that one.
Mm-hmm.
So Felix, as you ask that question, he just says, "No, I don't think so."
Okay.
Okay.
I want to say with my 2 that I rolled, I'm just like, well, obviously he was a little nervous around you because you're the Phoenix's son. Like, you could have any power set. Like, he had no idea what you could have been throwing at him. Any supervillain would be nervous about that.
But I don't know. It just felt really off to me. It didn't. I don't know. That whole setup was really strange.
Another thing you noticed during that fight is that Doppelganger didn't seem worried, didn't start backing up and looking for an actual way out until he saw Glider running into the invisible giant shadow hand that was holding him. You don't know what, but there's just something about that made Doppelganger nervous, and something about that he recognized that made him start to look for a way out.
And sorry, out of character. Phoenix doesn't know about Marcus's like ability to make like the big hands and stuff. Yeah. Okay.
No, I have not
I
told him
couldn't
about the
remember if
constructs.
he had like known anything about it at all, or if it was like a complete hush hush and just that we've seen it.
I think in an earlier episode he spotted me doing
Yeah.
it, but he has not told me he knows. But that was like way
watching
early
you train
on.
Yeah.
from afar.
Oh man, I love keeping
Yeah,
track of who
I
knows
also
what
don't
and about
because
what.
I saw the shadow hands in the house that was on fire, but I think I kept that between
Mhm.
us.
Oh man, this is actually really stressful because now I'm trying to figure out like what is safe to say.
Yeah.
You get the feeling this is something he's not really ready to talk about right now, especially with Marcus here, until he's had time to figure things out a bit.
You got to talk to him one-on-one.
There is something about this that has him nervous and stressed out a bit. At the moment, though, he's mostly focused about the fact that you all are okay. But ultimately, you do get the vibe that this is reminding him of something that he's dealt with before.
So I think I'm meditatively chewing a crust of a pizza, and I'm just like, so if Doppelganger's back and went to all this trouble to get taken out, as it were, so something bad could be going on.
That is definitely a possibility. I mean, the group that we had Doppelganger keeping an eye on doesn't exist anymore as far as we know, but we didn't get all of them when we were able to take the organization apart, so I mean, they might be trying to start something up, or maybe there's something else he stumbled upon. No way to tell until we talk to him.
Okay. I don't know. It feels like there's something really big that we're missing. And I'm just clenching my fist the whole time because I want to say something, but I'm still not quite at that level of trust yet.
I have finished my pizza. I moved the pizza box, and I like very stiffly go to stand, and I'm like, well, excuse me, I need to use the little speedster's room.
Oh yeah, sure, of course. And he gives you directions to the nearest restroom.
Thank you. And I hobble away. I do very pointedly have one of the healing kits in my hand.
Yeah, you definitely came off worse for the sheer amount of bruises.
Yeah, and I think it's just like I take my knee pad off and I pull up my suit and I look at my knee, and it's probably a very gross color.
Yeah, it's bad. It's like black in the center and spirals
Ooh,
out into
yeah.
different colors. It's very
Ooh.
intense.
Oh yeah.
It's not broken. It's just bad.
Oh, that's not good.
That's not good.
And then it's not actually like a unitard, like a full suit. It's like a top and pants. I do pull up the top to look at my stomach.
You have one large circular bruise on your stomach. It would have been where one of the knuckles impacted when you ran into it.
Oh.
And you also have a smaller bruise on your chest area from one of the other knuckles. It's not as big, it's not as bad.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
You're still not entirely sure how you got it.
Yeah, because I've felt your hands, and this was like running into a brick wall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, this would have been very different.
I just, I open up the Healy pack and just slap one of the. I imagine they're like those gel packs when you have sunburn. You just kind of slap them on your wounds.
Oh yeah.
And I do that on my chest and on my knee just so that I can get started. And I'm like, okay, all right. So the thicker padding, definitely for my next super suit. Okay, noted. Okay, and I kind of, I fix myself and I'll hobble back. And if y'all want to talk about something while I'm gone, you can.
Are there any other questions or things you want to talk to the Phoenix about now that you've got his undivided attention?
I think those are my main ones without like getting too far into
I
it.
think that's probably about it for now.
I guess I'm trying, and this might be like a refresher thing rather than a question. Did we ever dig into like the lightning person that we talked about?
Yeah, you asked your dad about him, and he said his name was Stormcry.
Yeah. That's why it's written on my sheet!
You are super suspicious and 100% convinced that he is a criminal.
That's right. Uh-huh. Definitely not for rolling bad reasons and being an angsty teen. I remember I wrote it down on my character sheet, and I'm like, who's Stormcry? You know what? I will ask for follow-up on Stormcry. So I turn and go, this might feel a little unrelated, but did you manage to contact Stormcry?
Yes, I was able to get in touch. He's a little busy, but he's happy to meet you. You're welcome to choose the time and location, unless you want to meet with him here.
If you trust Stormcry to enter here, then yeah, I'd be happy to meet when, they're available.
Yeah, I'll ask him about it. See when he's available. And Madigan, I'm just gonna say, you don't have to roll to know that Marcus doesn't particularly trust whoever this Stormcry is, but I don't think you actually really know who he is either.
I don't think so.
Do you want to roll to pierce the mask?
I got a 7.
Also, you do recognize the name, but you can't remember from where. You do know it's not that you heard someone talking about Stormcry, it's maybe more of you read it somewhere. You have sometimes in the past and probably continue to do so where you hack into different things just to test your skills, not as much to access the information, but sometimes you do see it, and I think that you think that's where you saw the name.
Mm-hmm. And I think from my end, I definitely believe like this person's bad news, and because they might have some connection to the Night Render.
That is quite the interesting connection you've made there.
Aha!
Brains do weird things.
Ah, well,
But yeah, Marcus finds him super suspicious.
oh yeah, 100%. Like, the entire timbre of my voice changes. Like, I'm just like very like, uh-huh. So you'll meet here, and you trust this person to enter this space. Interesting.
You have been listening to Queen City Supers, a graveyard tape side story using the game Masks. Masks: A New Generation is a superhero role-playing game in which a team of young heroes fights villains, saves lives, and tries to figure out who they are. Featuring Caitlin as Madigan, aka Scarlet Sentinel, the Janus. Jess as Bethany Bertolucci, aka Glider, the Beacon. Ian as Marcus, aka Kid Phoenix, the Doomed, and Brianna Jean as the Keeper and producer.